You've obviously spent a lot of time with Anson Dorrance, and we were fortunate to have him on the podcast here a couple of years ago. How much of just this overall leadership philosophy and approach, I mean, when it comes to communication and trying to relate with players and trying to balance, the honesty and feedback and all the things you're describing there, what are things that you've taken away from, working with and playing for Anson that have kind of influenced the way that you approach that now as a coach?
I think playing for Anson, I mean, I had the greatest role model ever of, on the field, off the field, motivation, tactical and technical evolution. I mean, you name it. I felt and knew I was the luckiest person in the world to play under him and under his guidance. And so he had a lot of individual meetings. Even like when we were with the national team, we would meet for 5 minutes before every game. He would meet with every player for 5 minutes and just tell them their role and, make sure they were ready, see if they had any questions. And I think that constant communication is important. And I think he's really good at that. He's got a lot of individual meetings. He'll, talk with players that come by the office and encourages that. I used to go by the office all the time when I played for him at North Carolina, pop my head in, if I was walking to my intramural basketball game or whatever, and just chat. And I felt comfortable doing that. And so I think that just open line of communication is important because that's where you build that trust. You build that relationship. And when you have that as part of your foundation, then you can be honest, and he could be honest and say, Tracy, you're a reserve today. You might not get in today. And I'd be like, okay. I mean, I pretty much knew that, I was self-aware of where I was. But it was good for him to be able to be honest with me and talk about it. And we just had that open kind of relationship. So I think that's one of the bigger things I learned from Anson, and also just having this set of values that you don't just talk about, that you actually try and live.